Do you want to know how to find great deals and maximize your profit at a sports card show? If so, then watch this episode. My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode. I am excited about this one today because I get to talk about something I love, and that is card shows. Sports card shows are fun to go to, they're fun to be part of, and they are, by the way, becoming all the rage right now. As the hobby is heating up, as more and more people are coming into the hobby, we are seeing more and more sports card shows pop up. And I love going to sports card shows for a couple of reasons. First of all, you actually get to see the cards, you actually get to talk to the dealers. There's a palatable energy and excitement when you go to a sports card show, especially the National. And by the way, I hope you can go to the National this year. I will be there, and I would look forward to meeting each and every one of you who is at the National in Atlantic City at the end of July this year. But regardless of whether you go to the National or a local sports card show, it's always fun to be able to see cards, talk to people. That's a great thing that unfortunately you can't really do when you're on eBay, right? So being at the sports card show is a great way to do that. The other thing that I like is you can get really good deals at a sports card show. You can often get better deals than what you can find online by going to a sports card show. So that's a great reason as a sports card investor for you to be interested in them as well. And that's what this episode is about. Tips and tricks for making the most of your sports card show experience. And I'm about to sit down with Joe Davis of GotBaseballCards.com. I am here in the Atlanta area, and Joe's card shop is just outside of Atlanta in a city called Loganville. And he has a sports card show that he runs near his card shop every 3 months in the Atlanta area. I went to his last one. It was great. And during the show, I got to sit down with Joe and we got to talk about how to make the most out of a card show. Now, Joe is a long-time hobby veteran. He's been collecting cards for 40 years. He has owned his shop for 30 years, his GotBaseballCards.com shop for 30 years. So if there's anyone who knows card shows, it is Joe. And we have some great insights to share today. Enjoy my interview with Joe Davis. All right, Joe, we are at your card show, the GotBaseballCards.com card show today here in Georgia. Got a great crowd starting to stream in this morning.
It's been great to see, and it's early. We're in the first hour. We've already seen a huge turnout.
Yeah, so this is an exciting show. But what I wanted to talk to you about today, I thought what my viewers would like to see are some tips and ideas for how people should approach card shows.
Sure.
So let's say whether it's this show here in the Atlanta area, which you're doing every 3 months, or whether it's a show in your local area, wherever you are around the country or around the world, or even maybe going to a show as big as the National, what advice would you give to people who are going to a card show?
Well, because I've attended shows both as a dealer and, of course, on the other side of the table as a collector. And so one thing I always recommend, most of us are on a budget, so have an idea, have some specific things that you want to find.
It's a great idea.
If you just show up with cash in hand, at any show you can get overwhelmed quickly, and you go, well, that's cool, and that's cool, I think I'll take that. And then in about an hour you're like, oh, I've just spent all my money. So I always recommend go into a show with a plan, and also all of your research, do as much research ahead of time. If you're trying to buy, a Zion rookie or a Derek Jeter rookie or whatever, research the specific one you're looking for, kind of see what market price is so you know that you're paying a fair price when you get there.
Yeah, that's absolutely great advice. Raise your hand out there if you've gone to a card show before and just made some impulse buys. I know I've done it, but Joe's right. If you're doing it, certainly if you're doing it from an investor standpoint, you need to be prepared, and you need to know what you want to buy, and you need to know how much you're willing to pay for what you want to buy.
Right.
So what do you see is hot at card shows these days? Like, what is the mix of what people can expect to see?
The great thing about the state of the market right now is it feels like everything's hot. I mean, high-grade vintage is very sought after. Of course, we've got plenty of hot rookies in multiple sports that are trending right now. You got, of course, we're recording this during Super Bowl weekend. Mahomes is hot, Garoppolo's hot. Of course, the young prospects, Tatis and Vlad and Alonso, those guys are hot. So, there's always people chasing the rookies. we're seeing just in the graded card market, there's so many things going on right now. People are buying up, and this is non-rookies, they're buying up vintage refractors of Hall of Famers to get them graded. Low-numbered inserts from the 90s that people are buying and getting graded. So there's so many sectors that are hot. Of course, we always bring a lot of wax to shows,
Sure.
which is always, that's a traditional thing at shows. People love to come buy boxes. Yep. I told the pastor here at the church we're hosting, I said, you got to have a lot of trash cans because there's going to be
That's right.
a lot of trash generated, people popping boxes.
You're going to open boxes here. That's a lot of fun
Yes.
to do at a show, to open
Yes.
boxes, kind of show off what you get. People are always interested in that. They'll gather around and look at what each other's opening.
Yep. And another word of advice for those attending shows, it's often a good idea to bring your extras that you're wanting to trade.
Yep.
It's a great way to trade up or trade out of stuff that you're not attached to. But again, the research falls into play there. Research and know what you want to get out of your cards so that you don't get taken, and that you can make fair trades and,
Yep.
and get a fair shake for what you're getting rid of.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. One tip that I've had for investors and collectors in the past is sometimes when you go to shows, you can find better deals on cards that are in the off season.
Correct.
So right now we are still in the off season of baseball, at least as of when we're filming this. But the season's coming up soon, so perhaps the market's going to start to heat up a little bit soon. But now might be a good opportunity. Football has just come to an end, and basketball is full swing. Basketball's hot right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just at a dinner with Dr. Beckett that you attended as well, and we had a talk about how basketball is trending to possibly become the biggest sport in the hobby because there is so much. It is the number one. That, along with soccer, are the top two worldwide sports, and so we are seeing so much demand from collectors all over the planet for basketball right now.
Yep.
I mean the international market's buying up a lot of stuff. We see things trending upwards in the U.S. because a lot of it's leaving the country.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And as an investor, you need to think. The great lesson to what you just said is think globally. Don't think about necessarily what's just hot in the U.S. because there are a lot of international collectors, and that number is increasing.
Yeah, I mean, all of your not just. I mean, it's your current stars, but people buying up. Of course, Kobe we know is hot for a lot of other reasons. Sadly, his cards have always been in demand.
Right.
But I mean, Iverson, Tracy McGrady. I mean, there's a lot of guys who were who are future Hall of Famers and current Hall of Famers that are still global. That people have a global following, not just current NBA players. Jordan, of course, it goes without saying.
So if you're coming to a card show like this and you're looking for whether it's some of that historic basketball or whether it's any sport. What do people need to bring with them? I guess first of all, cash, right? Is cash king?
Cash is king at shows. Yeah, I mean most nowadays most vendors will take plastic as well.
Right.
But it's often easier to negotiate a deal with cash in hand.
It is, and I had some trouble at the National this year. I went with not enough cash for what I wanted to buy because I assumed that there would be more people willing to take cards or even PayPal.
Right.
But I ran into a lot of problems with that. A lot of dealers were like, no, especially if I'm selling high-end singles,
right.
I don't want to deal with credit cards. And then some of them would be willing to do a PayPal friends and family, but PayPal locked me down while I was there because I was starting to send money.
Yeah, they're like, why is all this money coming out of your account?
Exactly. PayPal didn't like that. So it was a little bit of a challenge. So yeah, cash is obvious. I'm sure cash is always welcome.
Oh, yes.
I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
For sure.
So if the basketball market overtakes the baseball card market potentially, are you going to become gotbasketballcards.com? What are you going to do?
I think we own that domain anyway.
Oh, well, that's good.
Something
that's
like
good.
No. We do own some basketball domains. Yeah.
Good.
But no, baseball I think is always going to be the core sport for the hobby. Always has been. But we have seen a tremendous growth in basketball and soccer, other sports as well.
Yeah, it's exciting, the diversification of collectors, because you're getting different groups of people that are looking at the different sports now. And so, and as you said, soccer as well, right? I mean, the basketball collectors can be a little bit of a different breed than soccer collectors, and that can be a little bit of a different breed than maybe vintage baseball collectors. But the hobby has a great offering for all types of collectors, and at every price level as well. Whether you're just getting into it and just wanting to spend $20 a month on on buying a blaster box of cards, or whether you're real serious and you're spending thousands of dollars on investing cards, there's stuff for everybody.
Exactly. I've just walked around the show here, and there's quarter boxes, and then there's $5,000 cards out. So any good local show that your viewers can attend, they'll usually find stuff at multiple price points.
Absolutely. Well, if you ever happen to be in the Atlanta area, Joe's doing this show every 3 months. The next one is in
May 16th.
May 16th. So if you have a reason to come down to Atlanta, come down May 16th, 2020. And I'm sure I'll be back here again and join Joe and I at the next Got Baseball Cards card show.
Sounds
awesome.
great.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
All right, everybody, I have one more tip for you. And that tip is that you need to know what the price history is of cards you are looking at while you are at this sports card show, so you don't overpay. And so that you can understand what things have sold for recently, so you can find good deals and negotiate fairly. A great way to find prices on the go is my new Market Mover data tool. It is mobile friendly. It is your perfect companion for any card show you go to. You can type in any card you want to look for in Market Movers, simply hit the search button, and right away you get graphs up and you get results of what that card has sold for, the pricing history of that card, recent sales, etc. I use this when I go to card shows myself. I'll go talk to a dealer, look at cards I'm interested in buying, ask him his price, and then I'll step away from the table for a minute. I'll look the cards up in Market Movers, and I'll come back to him and make him an offer based upon the data that I have at my fingertips. It helps me get an edge on the card show. If you're interested in Market Movers, you can find out more information about it by going to my website, sportscardinvestor.com, and clicking on the Market Movers link in the main menu bar. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It was a pleasure to have you today with this conversation with Joe Davis, and I look forward to having you back for my next episode. Take care.